Welcome. My name is Mark Hoban. I am the president of the Maple Valley Farmers Market, fortunately, again, for our 2023 season. And again, welcome to our vendor orientation. I have about 24 slides that essentially recap important parts of our vendor guide, and then we will have an opportunity at the end if people have questions that we can field. So let's get started. This is what I just said. I am the president, and welcome to my show. We also have a chat going here, and my partner and queen of the market will be monitoring that chat. So if you have questions, you can ask them there, and then we will get to those as well. So again, my name's Mark. Welcome to the market. We're excited that we are just about 2 weeks away from our opening day, and looking forward to getting back out to the legacy site. So off the top, I want to make sure that everyone is aware of the email address that you will hear from the market and that you must use to contact the market. You may or may not have, phone numbers, personal emails for market staff, but if you need to contact the market, please email info@maplevalleyfarmersmarket.com, all one word, no apostrophe. Um, that is going to be the single point of contact. And should you have questions, if you have concerns, if you need to cancel or anything else, please email us at info@. We have a number of people who get that email, and that is the single point of contact. For other market information, you certainly are welcome, and we would encourage you to bookmark our website, maplevalleyfarmersmarket.com, and follow us on Facebook, which probably gets the most current updates and announcements and posts there. As I said, we're going to talk about things that are highlighted from our 2023 vendor guide. We've updated this again for this season, and not just with the pretty picture of the beets, but with some new information, particularly around permits. But this is the single source of truth for questions about our market, and it literally has just about everything in there that you'll need to know. You can find a copy of this on our website on the vendors tab, and the URL is there. I would encourage you to download a copy. It's 9 point something megabytes, so it's not a small document, but it is authoritative and it has a lot of good information in there for you. First up is kind of the rules of the road. Our market is a happy, good vibes kind of a place, and part of the reason that it is that kind of a place is because we all practice and adhere to a code of conduct. So all market staff, all volunteers, all vendor staff will treat each other in a professional manner that fosters a sense of market community and a spirit of cooperative involvement. We are all in this together. To participate in our market, all participants agree to follow and uphold the market code of conduct as outlined below. And I will read these to you at the risk of being pedantic. I want to make sure that everyone understands. Practice patience and understanding and demonstrate sensitivity to people of all ages, ethnicities, and diversities. Everyone is welcome at our market. Treat customers with courtesy, respect, and honesty. Assist other vendors when possible. Treat the market staff, volunteers, and other vendors with respect and understanding. Notify market staff immediately of any unsafe conditions. Resolve conflicts in an unobtrusive manner. So this is a community gathering hub where we have at any given time several hundred people. So we want to, if there are conflicts or differences of opinion, we want to discuss and resolve those amicably and without drama. Practice safety at all times, including and specifically when you're driving on and off the market site, during setup, during loading, and during unloading. Dogs and other animals are not permitted in your market booth, in vendors' booths. We do allow dogs at our market for visitors, customers, but dogs in the market booths are prohibited. There is no smoking or vaping in the market area, and in fact, Maple Valley Municipal Code prohibits smoking or vaping in any part of any city park, including the legacy site. So please do not smoke or vape at the site. No market staff or vendor may be under the influence of illegal drugs or alcohol while participating. That should go without saying. No firearms. Please leave your guns at home. And no music or radio playing in market booths. We do have live entertainment. We also have some recorded music that we play. We don't want that to clash. We don't want to be a contest of who can turn up their music the loudest. So no music or radios in the market booths. This is our market map as it exists for 2023. It's slightly updated from the one that we used last year, in that we've squeezed a few more spaces out of the site. We have 120 10 by 10 booth spaces, and we have a pair of small trailer spaces and a pair of food truck spaces. And this will be our configuration for the 2023 season. Of note to you all is that we have water at the north side of the pavilion on the eastern end. There is a spigot there. Immediately south of that, at the opposite corner, the southeast corner of the pavilion, is a hot water vendor wash station. And so this is specifically for vendors. It is hot water and soap and towels. The restrooms are immediately south of that. They are unfortunately portable toilets, but when you got to go, you got to go. And that's there are 4 of them, and it typically they meet the needs. There are also hand wash stations there, but the hot water one that I mentioned previously is specifically for use of vendors. And then finally, down here at the bottom, this is our shuttle drop-off, and I'm going to talk about our off-site parking for vendors shortly. But this is where you will catch and get dropped off from our golf cart shuttle that runs from the market, from the legacy site, out to our off-site parking area, which is about a 6 to 8 minute walk away. This is Maple Valley and Western Washington, and while the weather has changed over the course of my adult life, this is still a particularly rainy area. We have had years where we get very little precipitation, and then there are some where it seems it's more common. Ours is a rain or shine market, meaning we will conduct this market whether or not it's raining, and we want our vendors to be there whether or not it's raining. If the market becomes less of a useful experience, less of a place to find the things that our customers want on a rainy day, they'll stop coming on a rainy day, and it's a non-virtuous cycle. We don't want to get into that. So what we encourage people to do is plan for rain. Whether that's flaps on the sides of your tent, whether it's a different product mix that doesn't involve stuff that doesn't do well in rain or humidity, whatever that is, let's plan ahead for what we will look like on a rainy day, and consider contingencies for both rain and shine. So vendor parking, as I mentioned earlier, unless other arrangements are made, we ask all vendors to park in our offsite parking area, which frees up 80 or so parking places for paying customers. And that's the entire reason that we go through this exercise, in order to get more customers in to purchase more products from our vendors. So unless other arrangements are made, so if you have a medical condition, if you have some need to have your vehicle close by, if you whatever that is, you'll need to reach out to our market operations director for a south lot parking pass, and we will give those to folks who have that exception. Everyone else, however, will need to park in offsite parking. We will likely give you one warning, and then after that, if there's continued violations, the penalties will escalate, including fines in the amount of a week's booth fees, and if necessary, further escalation. Let's hope that we don't ever get to that. The offsite parking is in city-owned property that is to the south of the legacy site, off of Southeast 260th Street. So from the market, you'll take a right turn, and it is a right turn out only on market day. Take a right turn out onto Maple Valley Black Diamond Road Southeast, SR 169. And take the very next right turn, next available right turn, which is Southeast 260th Street. That's the corner that has Maple Valley Mini Storage, and then follow that road past the mini storage, essentially to the end. There's a concrete barrier there, and then it is a left turn into the offsite parking area. There are a few places there that for access for those businesses. There are no parking, and that is marked. But otherwise, you're free to park anywhere there, nose in, on either side of the lot. And we, as I said, we run a golf cart shuttle back and forth to the market. Sometimes those circuits are, 5 to 10 minutes apart, so you may or may not wish to walk, but it is there for those who do not. It's roughly half a mile from, roughly a third of a mile from the front of the lot, and roughly half a mile from the very end. So it's not a small distance, but we provide a shuttle service to make that a little bit better. Um, Please lock your vehicle. Don't leave things inside your vehicle that could be stolen. We try to patrol this randomly throughout the day, send the golf cart through on a security run, but this is not a monitored area, and it is away from some visibility. So please be safe with your vehicle and with your belongings. There is a footpath that runs along SR 169 that is roughly 8 or 10 feet wide. So it's not an uncomfortable walk, and you're not walking on the roadway when you're getting back to the market. When you leave offsite parking, you'll continue south, basically the same way you came in. You'll go out the opposite way to the south end. That road bends around and then connects with SR 169 near Crockett's and a few other things there. There's a light there. Take a left at the light, and then you can get back up to where the legacy site is. So let's talk about market day and what happens on any market Saturday. We open for vendor setup at 7 a.m. in the morning. So the park is sometimes open a little bit before 7 a.m., but you cannot enter the market area until 7 a.m. This is a liability issue for us. Our lease agreement with the city actually is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I don't want anybody in there before we're covered. And so you're welcome to queue in the parking area, but there are no vendors there's no vendors allowed into the market area until 7 a.m. and our staff will be there to check you in. Vendor vehicles are only allowed in the market area for loading and unloading only. Um, Simply, we're going to have 90 plus vendors in these markets, and there is no possible way we could fit 90 vehicles in the market simultaneously. So what we want people to do is come in, unpack unload into their booth space, park their vehicle. And so again, you'll need to go to offsite parking and then come back and then set up your booth and be ready to conduct your day at the market. And then at the end of the day, it is the exact operation, but in reverse. Pack up your booth and break down your canopy and get all of that stuff done. Then go get your vehicle, bring it back to the market area, load out, and leave. In the event it's raining, it is okay to set up a canopy and weights and put your stuff underneath the canopy so that it stays dry while you park. But otherwise, we want to move people and vehicles in and out of the market area as efficiently as possible. Traffic in the market area is one way, north to south. So all begins at the north lot, and then depending on what your booth assignment is, you can see there are a couple different paths to follow. But everything begins in the north lot and terminates in the south parking lot. From there, you can go to vendor parking. We would ask everyone to be set up by 8:30. There are times when that is not possible. You need to be ready to serve customers at 9 a.m. And in that intervening half hour between 8:30 and 9, you can walk around, you can talk to other vendors, you can use the restroom, get a cup of coffee, whatever that might be. But we ask folks to be ready at 8:30, and you definitely need to be ready to greet customers beginning at 9 a.m. The other thing that's on this slide that I need to point out is for the canopies, all canopies are required to have weights on each leg of the canopy that are at least 25 pounds. And this is a insurance requirement. Um, we have had in our market just in the last couple of years, someone was taking down their tent, they removed their weights, and then just in that few minutes there, the tent went airborne and actually left the market area and landed in the parking lot. And while no one was injured and there was no property damage, it's exactly the reason that weights are required all the time on all canopies. And if you do not have weights, you will not be allowed to set up. All right, selling at the market. A couple tips here, or a couple things of note. First of all, we want to know who you are. So all vendors are required to post a sign that identifies the name of their business or their farm and where it is located. So just business name and the city is fine. All signs need to be posted before we open for business at 9 a.m. Signage needs to be inside your booth area so that it does not disrupt uh, pedestrian traffic. So don't put signs or A boards or other things outside of your vendor space. And then for farmers specifically, all produce product signage must be true and accurate. They must be clearly labeled to show what the product is and how much it costs. Um, as far as selling, vendors are responsible for providing the tools necessary to sell in their booths. That may include scales if they're selling a product by weight. It definitely includes cash boxes and a starting bank or change, and payment processing systems, whether you take Square or some other form of payment. Unfortunately, the market cannot provide starting bank or change. You can understand if we have, you know, 90 vendors and even half of them want that, that's an enormous amount of money for us to be uh, processing at any one time. So please bring your opening bank and be ready to sell with your own processing systems. Finally, the scales, if you're using scale to sell your product, they must be legal for trade scales. They must be inspected and sealed by Washington Department of Agriculture, weights and measures, and that endorsement needs to be on your master business license. You'll provide a copy of that to us with application, and we're going to talk about uploading permits and other things here shortly. All right. Next up is market currencies, and I will preview this by saying that 2/3 of this, I know what I'm talking about. 1/3 of it, I'm going to wing it, and you'll have to just guess which part is which. There are a number of different currencies, food aid currencies that are accepted at our market, and by participating in the market, you agree to accept these. So the first is the WIC and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Programs. These are known by the FMNP, so it's WIC FMNP or SFMNP. These in previous years were $4 checks printed on large colored paper, and these would be sent out to recipients. They would use them at the market. The vendor would turn them in to us. We would validate them. Yes, this was spent at our market, and then the vendor would um, deposit that in their bank account. This system, both systems actually, both WIC and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Programs, are going to an electronic benefits card. Training on that happens in the next week or so, and so we will find out more about that, but it is my understanding that you will process a payment card just like you're processing another transaction, like a debit or credit card. But more to come on that. Okay, spoiler alert, that's the part I didn't know what I was talking about.
It's registered farmers
only. I'm going to get to that part. Thank you. So you must register with the state in order to be able to accept these currencies. These are not for everyone. Farmers have a specific program that they need to go through to register, and then they can accept and ultimately receive the money back from these. And there are some limitations on what can be purchased with both these. The WIC can purchase any farm product except honey. The SFMP can also purchase honey. So moving to the center of the slide here, EBT and SNAP Market Match, and we're on a little stronger footing here. So electronic benefits transfer is what EBT stands for, and this is food aid that is administered by the state of Washington. And so an EBT recipient will visit the market booth. They will put a certain amount or withdraw a certain amount on their card, and we will exchange that for market script, the stuff that looks like a dollar bill with the little fruit background there. And when applicable, they will also get some SNAP Market Match. Previous to last season, we distributed this food aid with these little wooden tokens that have a $1 stamped on them in red. We've phased those out. There still may be a few out in the wild. Mostly you will see the script currency and the SNAP Market Match. These can be used to purchase all products from farmers and food processors, only prepackaged foods from prepared food vendors. The SNAP Market Match is a little more strict, and it can only be used for fruits, vegetables, herbs, and edible plants. As a vendor, you do not need to give change for these. So if someone purchases something, it comes to $4.60. They give you $5 in script or market match currencies. You do not give them any change. Okay, so that's how that works out. You turn in these currencies with your sales report at the end of the market day, and you'll be repaid on your next market date, minus that date's booth fees. So for those who accept these, it's not uncommon for them to get, $20, $30, $40 in currency, and that is then applied to their next booth fee. Finally, on the right-hand side is market tokens. These are also a wooden token. The print is green. It says $5. Treat these exactly like cash and give change to your customer as appropriate. When I began at the market a number of years ago, this was fairly common because there were many vendors who did not have payment processing systems. As things and technology have advanced, more and more vendors will take cash or card. There are a few that still don't, and it is for those people that we offer this service. So just like the EBT and SNAP Market Match, turn in your market tokens at the end of the day, and if those exceed your booth fee, you'll be paid back the next market. Otherwise, we'll apply that to your booth fee. Let's talk briefly about food safety and sanitation. Obviously, we could talk for hours about this, and some people do. But the high notes here is cold food needs to be kept cold. Hot food needs to be served hot. There are particular temperatures for this. We will be going through the market every week and checking temperatures for prepared food and for food storage. So don't be surprised when we show up with the little laser thermometer thing and ask to take a temperature of the food. So cold food needs to be stored below 41 degrees. Hot food needs to be served hot. There are different temperatures depending on what the food product is. These are all based on the death number for the particular pathogens that are present in these kinds of foods. Beef, fish, seafood, eggs, 145 degrees. Rare roast beef a little bit lower at 130. Pork is again at 145. Poultry, food containing poultry, stuffed meats, stuffing containing meats, casseroles, all of the mixed up stuff, 165 degrees for that. Restructured meat or ground or fabricated meat, 155. The other thing is you need to store food safely off the ground in closed containers. I alluded to takedown earlier when we were talking about load in, but a couple things of note here. So our market is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and without fail, there will be someone rushing in at 1:45. Do I still have time? Mostly. Please be ready to sell up until 2 p.m. Do not strike your booth before 2 p.m. If you're sold out, leave your canopy up. You can pack up and get ready. You can sit there and smile at folks. You're welcome to visit other people in the market, but we do not want people striking their booth while the public is there, and you cannot bring your vehicle in until after the market is closed anyway. It's possible to pack stuff up and get ready to go, but do not strike your booth until the market is closed. And we have a large cowbell that we ring to open and close the market. You'll hear it from wherever you are at the Legacy site. And so the vehicles for loadout will not be allowed into the market area until approximately 10 minutes after we close, or when it is reasonably free of foot traffic. So again, this is a safety issue. We don't want to mix vehicles, particularly large vehicles like pickup trucks, with pedestrians. So we will hold vendors' vehicles out until it is safe to do so. So watch for the go-ahead from our staff at any of those entrances, and we'll let you know when it's safe to proceed. As I mentioned earlier, just like the load-in, loadout is the same. Only come in when you're ready to load out. You drive to your booth space, you load up your vehicle, and then exit the market. What we don't want to have is people parking their vehicle as they break down their booth, as they load it in one piece at a time. Again, we just cannot have 90 vehicles in the market simultaneously, and even a quarter of that is problematic. It's a challenge. So please break down your booth completely, get ready to leave, then go get your vehicle, bring it back, load out, and leave. As in the morning, vehicle traffic is one way north to south. Finally, we ask that you, when you're finished for the day, do a little policing of your area, pick up any litter, straw wrappers, sample containers, anything that is litter that doesn't belong there. Please pick it up, and vendors are responsible for the complete cleanup of their booth space. And finally, sales reports and booth fees need to be turned in at the market booth by 2:30. We will have staff ready to receive those beginning about 30 minutes before the market closed. So roughly about 1:30 to 2:30, there's an hour-long window there where you can tally up your sales, bring us the sales report, pay your booth fees, and get ready for exiting the market. About half an hour. All right. Other stuff, stuff that isn't load in or take out. Cancellations and no-shows. So there's a lot of demand to be in this market this year, particularly, and so we have a short waiting list. But if you are unable to participate in a market that you're scheduled at, we need to know as soon as you know. And again, that single point of contact is our email, info@maplevalleyfarmersmarket.com. Please email us as soon as you know that you're not going to make a market that you are scheduled to. How do I know which markets I'm scheduled at? You can find this in your Managed by Market account. When you look at Home My Markets, you can see the Maple Valley Farmers Market 2023 season. This one says 2022. This is last year's screenshot. But it will list all of the dates, the number of stalls, and whether you have been approved or green lighted for that date. So you can always look in Manage My Market to see what dates you're scheduled to be at the market. Should you need to cancel, there is no penalty for cancellation if we hear from you by midnight Wednesday before the Saturday market. So things happen. People get ill, people need to travel, jobs, etc. Things happen, and we understand that. But we also need to be able to fill that spot and give someone else an opportunity to sell if it's available. So please let us know by Wednesday midnight if you're unable to participate in any market that you're scheduled for. If timely cancellation arrangements are not made, by that I mean if you do not notify us by midnight Wednesday, you'll be responsible for that week's booth fee, whether or not you participate in the market. So we need you to let us know. Cancellations that are received after midnight Wednesday are considered a late cancel, and you'll still be responsible for paying the booth fee. If you're assessed a booth fee for a no-show or a late cancel, you need to pay that before you can participate in any future markets. Staying within the Manage My Market theme, approved products, please make sure all products that you're bringing to our market have been approved for our market. I know a number of our vendors participate in multiple markets, and maybe you have product A, B, and C that you applied, and we said you're good for A and C, but don't bring B. We already have somebody else selling that. You can also find the approved products within the same place. It's literally right above the dates in Manage My Market. It will show you the name of the product and whether it has been approved for our market or not. Please do not bring products that are not approved for sale in our market. And in the middle of the season, let's say, hey, we have a new thing, we want to try it out. You'll need to reach out to us, info@maplevalleyfarmersmarket.com, and say, I would like to add a product. You can add it in Manage My Market as well, and that'll notify us, but we'd like the heads up as well. And that happens too. And sometimes there's a new product. Maybe it's unique. Maybe we had somebody that was selling it, but they've withdrawn. So we're not saying that everything needs to be on the list at the beginning of the year, but we do need to approve every product that's sold in our market. All right, further on down in our tour of Manage My Market, let's talk briefly about liability insurance. So our insurance requires that the market carry liability insurance and that our vendors carry liability insurance. And our lease with the city of Maple Valley requires that we carry liability insurance. So upon acceptance and 2 weeks in beginning before the market begins, so that's this week, all vendors need to provide current copies of permits, insurance, licenses, etc. You can upload these to your Manage My Market account. There are a number of providers of insurance. If you operate a business, you likely already have liability coverage. You should talk to your agent about what's required to have a certificate for Maple Valley Farmers Market. And I think I mentioned that in this next. No, I didn't. That didn't make it in. So anyway, let's talk about it. We need $1 million minimal liability, and you need to name Maple Valley Farmers Market as additional insured on that certificate. And again, those need to be uploaded into the Manage My Market software. These providers do specialize in insurance for farmers market vendors. And if you do not already have an insurance relationship, you could do worse than trying some of these. Some of these offer single date policies. Some of them offer seasonal policies. And we get no consideration or endorsement or compensation for any of these, but we have found that these are some that our vendors have found useful, particularly if you're starting off and you don't already have an insurance relationship and liability insurance. Finally, let's talk briefly about permits. And boy, there are a bunch of them. We redid this part of our vendor guide this season and tried to summarize for each of our vendor classes kind of what permits may be required, not necessarily are, because again, this is all dependent upon what kind of product that you're bringing to sell. But farmers that sell product by weight, again, will need a weight endorsement and on their Washington business license. If a farmer is selling non-edible horticultural products like houseplants or something else, they'll need a nursery license endorsement on their business license. Anything that is sold, labeled, or represented as organic needs to be certified organic by Washington State Department of Agriculture, unless the operation is exempt or excluded, and there are some requirements for that. Farmers that sell eggs need an egg handler dealer endorsement on their business license. Fishermen need a Washington State Department of Fisheries wholesale license. And shellfish vendors need a commercial shellfish harvester license, and depending on the product sold, may require a Shucker Packer license. Say that 5 times fast. Um, there's a lot of detail involved here, and the link is there. It's not particularly easy to read to you, but the Washington Department of Health has all of the specificity that you would require for your information about a Shucker Packer license. Um, Food processors need a different set of permits. Again, depending on the product being sold, processors will need either a food processor license from Washington Department of Agriculture, a cottage food permit from the Department of Agriculture, or they have received an approved application for exemption from permit. So you need one of those three, either food processor license, a cottage food permit, or you need to have an approved exemption. Further details on the license and the cottage food and the exemptions are all listed here. Vendors that sell alcoholic beverages, including beer, wine, hard cider, and mead, need to have a farmer's market endorsement from the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board on their business license. A few fewer requirements for our prepared food friends and food trucks. Prepared food vendors selling ready-to-eat food prepared in their booth space must have a temporary food permit. Vendors selling ready-to-eat food must have valid food worker card from Washington Department of Health. And for food trucks, mobile food establishments, including food carts, trailers, and food trucks, must have a mobile food unit permit. And vendors selling ready-to-eat food must have a valid food worker card. I think we're close to the end. Last slide. So COVID has become a little bit less onerous to us at the market. It was challenging, frankly, really challenging in 2020 and 2021. I think as the vaccines have progressed um, and other things have taken place, that this is less of a concern for us. But we include it here because our market operates under permit from Public Health Seattle and King County, which are the people that make the COVID regulations as well. So same people. Our market policy is that we follow the guidance from the county and state with, in regards to COVID-19 safety. And while there are currently no requirements for us to put in place for COVID, if that changes during the season, our policy will change and we will update you and let you know what the new thing that we need to do is. Nevertheless, vendors have a critical role in ensuring public safety at our market, not just with regards to COVID. So we're asking you to please follow all applicable county and state guidelines. Please stay home if you are ill. Don't come to the market sick. It's just not worth it. Have a hand wash station or hand sanitizer in your booth as required, if it's required. Plan for and manage social distancing in both your booth and your queue space. We are an outdoor market and the risk is relatively low, but in heavily congregate environments, shoulder to shoulder, nose to nose, transmission is still possible. So we want to alleviate that as much as possible with advanced planning on social distancing. Minimize touch points in your booth space, and then regularly sanitize contact areas. And I think we've reached the end of our slides. Before we take questions, I want to give an opportunity from one of our market staff, our market operation director, Gene Davis. And Gene, you have some information for us regarding demos. Am I right?
Yes, I do. We are, excuse me, we are set up to have a market demo from any of the vendors, one a week at the most. And it's, if you want to demo your product, you want to show how it's prepared, you want to show how it works with other items from other vendors, we are open for that. It would be up in the pavilion. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble talking tonight, and it's I'm getting through it. It is up in the pavilion area, so it would require an extra person, or we can assist with getting somebody with you in your booth. We had one person one vendor do it last year with regards to canning. It was quite successful, and it was one of her best-selling days of the market year, coincidentally. So it worked out very well for her. To get any questions on that, direct it to info@maplevalley.com to the attention of Zandra, Zandra Jones, and she is the vice president of the market, and she will get the email and get back to you. I wanted to jump in real quick on a couple of the rules that Mark went over. One-way traffic, please clean up your booth area when you're done. The only thing I really don't mind having there after you leave is if you leave ice. If you dump your ice chest, I don't mind that because it's going to go away. Everything else is your responsibility, because not only do you want to get out of there, but most of the market staff, we stay and clean up afterwards, and we are there before most of you, and we are there after most of you, and we want to get out of there as well. So just remember, if we see you leaving a messy booth, you will be advised. I'm a real tough, mean guy. Most of the vendors will tell you, so please don't.
Yes, yeah. Gene has a reputation for that. No, sincerely, we are guests, right, in the city park. We lease it from the city of Maple Valley, and we don't want to leave, anything other than a good impression. And particularly during the week, we don't want some coming in and saying, "Boy, this is trash," because the market was here. In years past, we have picked up litter when we see it. Our team will walk the market at the end of the day, but we're asking our vendors to please just take a moment and make sure that the area is tidy and free of litter before they leave. All right, thank you, Gene, and again, reiterating on the demo thing, our canning demo last year went great. If you have a food preparation technique, if you have something that you can use your product in, whether whatever that might be, and you're interested in demoing it at the market, please reach out info at, and you put as attention Zandra or put demo inquiry. We'll get it to the right people. So I know we have a few questions that came in chat. Can you read those to me and I'll read? Yeah.
Yes. So Jim asked, do you provide space assignments before the market day or when we arrive on Saturday?
All right. So the question is, do we provide booth assignments before the market day or on Saturday? It is before the market day. We are in the process right now of getting set up for opening day, May 6th, and putting booth assignments in. And you'll be able to see these on our market map, which is on our website under the tab Market Map. You'll see the same kind of a graphic that I showed you at the beginning of the presentation. And then all of the different vendors will appear in a list at the left-hand side of that display. It is our goal to try to place people. We'll probably try to do about a month or so in advance, so folks have an idea. And we generally try, and this is a aspirational goal. We generally try, once we put people in a particular location, not to move them around the market. We want your customers to be able to find you predictably in the same spot. Now, it may be, depending on other vendors' participation, it may be one or two spaces from where you are, but you will likely not be, in the Northeast in one area and the Southeast in another week, etc. There have been occasions where we have moved people in the middle of the year, and we don't do it lightly or easily, but typically it's to alleviate pedestrian congestion, foot traffic congestion at the market. Sometimes there's other things like I can't be downwind of this soap cellar because I have a sensitive, I'm sensitive to smells. Those kind of things happen, and we will try our very best to accommodate every vendor that participates, and again, with minimum disruption to your location. But you'll have your booth assignment. It should be well in advance, and I expect we'll have the May 6th stuff done by the end of this weekend latest.
Okay, next one is Emily at Lovely and Dapper Desserts, and also our friends at Sauce Boss. They are asking, can people use EBT script or market match at their booth? Emily does prepackaged cakes, and Sauce Boss has prepackaged sauces. That is yes. I have a list of items that are EBT eligible, and I will make that available for everyone who is eligible to take those monies.
Yes, yeah. So basically, yes. The answer is yes. There are some restrictions on prepared foods that needs to be prepackaged. So like a slice of pizza would not qualify, but something that was made, packaged, brought to the market, like a cupcake in a can or something like that, that would qualify for that, for those things. And we will make that information, as Marianne said, we'll make that more explicitly available to you.
So the next one is Jim is asking if we're withdrawing well in advance, do we email you or use Manage My Market for canceling participation?
Either is fine. We would actually prefer that you do it in Manage My Market, because if you don't, we will, right? So either will work as long as it's done by midnight Wednesday, the Saturday before you're scheduled. Either is acceptable.
Yeah, because he was saying that, for an example, canceling participation in September when it's only May.
Yeah, that's also fine. So that's plenty of advance notice.
Next one is, can we provide insurance documents 2 weeks before our actual start date? Yes.
Yes. Yes. So if you're not going to be with us until week 3 or 4 or later in the season, we just need a couple of weeks to make sure everything's in order before that participation. So before the first market that you're scheduled to participate, a couple of weeks. If it's 10 days, we're not going to dock you. If it's shorter than that, though, you'll probably get an email or a phone call from us saying, where is the insurance? Because we do need to get that taken care of. Is there anything else in the queue?
There is one last one. Jim is asking about Wi-Fi available in the park.
Regrettably, there is no Wi-Fi available in the park, Jim.
There is a tower close.
There's cell reception in the park, but there is no park sponsored or park located Wi-Fi. So in line with what we were talking about earlier about all of the tools that you'll need to sell, you're going to need a cell connection to connect to Square or whatever payment that you're using to do that. So there is cell service there, but it is not. I mean, we're rural. It's not like you're in the middle of a millimeter wave situation, but people do it, and we have done it for years there. But we do not offer Wi-Fi. We do not. The park does not offer Wi-Fi.
So there's one other.
They keep going.
I don't know how to say her name. AC Prodigy.
Yes.
Is it Alessia?
It could be,
okay,
but what's
great.
the question?
She is asking if we provide a sales report, and I gave you a copy of that, but you didn't show it. We do have sales sheets that we give out at the beginning of the market, and I can show you how to fill them out.
Yeah, so we ask all vendors to record and report their sales weekly. And so that'll be, your gross sales number, and then if you accepted any market currencies, what those are. And that needs to be turned into the market information booth no later than 2:30 on each market day. Now, the other thing could be, are you looking for tallying? I think you can generate sales reports via Manage My Market. So I'm not sure which you're actually referring to, but Manage My Market will allow you to collect and analyze some data there. But for our purposes, we We do it very old school. You write your number on a piece of paper, you put it in a plastic sleeve, and with whatever market currencies and or your booth payment, and hand that in to us at the end of the day. Our staff typically will distribute the sale sheets within the first hour or so of the market day. So, it's one of the first things we do is we'll walk around and give everyone their sales sheet, which again, if you have money coming from a previous market day, it'll be in that sales sleeve.
And then Khalil is asking, is there power available?
Well, that's a great question, Khalil, and the answer is a qualified maybe. We need to know if you need power because power is pretty limited at the legacy site in particular. Let me see if I can get back to my map. That's the small one.
So he was one.
So
we have it on his.
That's good to know. And so we try to, again, accommodate as many vendors' requests as we possibly can. But if you're looking at our map here, you can see these little gold circles with the lightning bolt. This is all the electricity that exists in the park outside of the pavilion. The pavilion is resource rich. There's an outlet pretty much on every post there, and at times we have used that to run an extension cord out to a particular place. But you can see there are three electrical facilities at the north end of the market. There are three at the south near the wash station area, and then there are three more in the first row closest to the pavilion. But the vast majority of our spaces do not have electricity. So please indicate that you need electricity, and we will do our best to accommodate and schedule you. If it's something that's like if I don't get electricity, I can't sell. There may be a time where we just don't have it. We have asked the city of Maple Valley as they look at plans for enhancing and expanding this site. Number two is more electricity. Number one is more parking, but the truth is it's limited. So we have some, we don't have a lot, but let us know and we'll try to accommodate.
So I have one other one. Jim asks about, do we bill credit cards on file for the booth fee, or do we pay you weekly via cash or check?
So we would prefer that you pay us weekly by cash, check, or card, and we can take your card at the market information booth. It is a little bit of a process if we have 24 people say just put it on the file on do it to the card on file, and unfortunately not all of those payments after the fact clear, right? Sometimes those cards are declined. So we are asking this year that you pay on market day, and cash on the barrelhead is preferred. A check is certainly fine. We do have to pay a processing fee on card transactions, and that there is a surcharge for that, and it is 3%. So our choice is cash or check if we get it. Otherwise, we'll take your card. But we need that on market day. Now, there are exceptions if you want to pay a number of weeks in advance. We have some people that have historically said, I want to pay for the entire season up front. If that's the case, thank you. We'll be glad to take your money. We do offer a 5% discount on that full season kind of a thing. But other than that, no, we want it on market day. All right, that's it for the chat queue. Does anyone have questions that they might like to ask out loud? Because that's also okay.
Yes, quick question.
Sure.
Do you have garbage containers there, or we have to
have
take our
a
garbage with us?
dumpster, and the dumpster is in the south parking lot somewhere south of the food truck area. And there are multiple garbage cans throughout the market. So Gene, correct me if I'm wrong, 16, 18, something like that. Anyway, there's more than a dozen, possibly fewer than 2 dozen that will be distributed around, and our staff collects those, empties those regularly, if not hourly. So there's a place to put your trash that's close. If you end up with a bunch of trash and you want to haul it down to the dumpster, that is also fine.
And the dumpsters are located in the parking lot behind the porta potties in the south parking lot.
Yes.
So Alessia is asking what's the percentage of sales due at the conclusion of the day?
So that's an interesting question. And so our market does not do a percentage of sales calculation. So we have a flat rate booth fee structure for a couple of reasons. First of all, we want to simplify this. We don't want anybody doing math after we've been at the market for 6 or 8 hours. That's above and beyond. Second of all, it's predictable for you. You know what your charge is going to be, and most of all, it's predictable for us, right? We want to have a predictable revenue stream. So there's no percentage of sales calculated or required. You will know when you enter the market. This, if I'm a farmer, my booth fee is $40. If I'm a food processor, crafter, artisan, prepared foods, it's $50. If I'm a food truck, it's $100. Beyond that, we hope you sell a ton, but we want to know, but we're not changing your booth fee based on that. All right, this might be the most efficient one of these we've ever done. It is 4 minutes to 8 p.m. Does anyone else have a question that they'd like to ask here? And again, we are happy to field questions at our email address, info@maplevalleyfarmersmarket.com, and I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours with a definitive response.
I have a quick question, real
Sure.
quick. I do a lot of events in Pierce County, so I have to get like a separate Pierce County permit. Is that required for like Maple Valley, or you guys take like the reseller permit?
So we're in King County, and so all of our regulation is King County based. You may need yes, if you're straddling 2 counties and you're doing stuff in both, you're unfortunately going to get to do, you're going to have to meet both sets of requirements depending on where you're selling that day.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there handicap restrooms available?
Our restrooms are accessible, and I'm using air quotes here. So we do have 2. These are portable restrooms, right? So they're Santa cans. We have 2 of them that are large, that are ADA compliant. You could get into it with a wheelchair. They're both on level ground. All of them are on level ground. It is, frankly, not the best experience because part of that is a gravel pathway. It's packed, but it's not, it's, yes. So the short answer is yes. The qualified answer is it's maybe not the nicest facility, but it is what it is, and it's what we have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark, I'd like
Yes.
to chime in.
Yes.
We have, this is the market operations director, Gene. We have a very capable staff. If you have any questions or need any help that's within our capability of doing so, we will get you the answer or we'll get you the assistance you need. They're identifiable. You'll notice t-shirts or sweatshirts or aprons, but please do not hesitate to ask. We are there to make your day go easier.
Just to reiterate or to second that, we want to hear from you. If there's anything that you need on market day, if we can be of assistance, we will do that. I would also say people with ADA limitations are exactly the kind of people that we want to have parking in our south parking lot, so that they're not navigating the great distance and or the shuttle. So just reach out, let us know, and we will do our best again to accommodate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you have an ADA parking pass, let us know. We will get you in that south parking lot. We will get you a pass the first morning that you are there.
All right, we'll send you the info.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. If there are no further questions for this event, I will go ahead and maybe fast forward to my thank you slide. There it is. Thank you. Thanks for your time tonight. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your interest in participating in our market. I'm not objective about this, but I think it's the nicest market going in Western Washington. We're excited that you're with us. We are excited for the year ahead. 26 Saturdays beginning in May and running through October. So it's going to be a good long year and a lot of good vibes, a lot of good time, and hopefully a lot of great sales out there at the Legacy site. So thanks for your time tonight. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you at the market.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Yep.
Bye. See you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.